Hey everybody, it's Bobo the Vulture, and it's time for more Let's Play Gran Turismo 2, the real driving simulator. The first one, as it turns out, wasn't actually real. This is the real driving simulator. I got $1 million. And some nice fun cars. Like a Nismo 400R. Oh, I should sell that, shouldn't I? Because I already have one. Or do I? Yeah, I have one. Almost positive I have a Nismo 400R. Though if I don't, I certainly shouldn't sell that. Nismo 400R preceding model. Looks very similar, doesn't it? Maybe I don't have another Nismo 400R. Although it appears to be the same model. Heavy duty, same basic design, for springs, sherpa-derba-der. Price is the next level too. Well, I wonder, did I try the preceding model in the R33 challenge before, and that's why I couldn't get in? Is that what was going on? Although while I'm in Japan, I'll go to the Mazda dealership and look for an RX-7? Oh yeah, no. I didn't mean to drive into your garage, Mazda, with my Nissan. And yes! What color are you? Oh. And I'm still gonna buy it, but black just doesn't show up that well in this game. Cars that are black. I'm gonna buy it because I can't pass it up. And here, let's read about it. Strict emissions regulations in the 1970s were a major challenge to the development of high-performance Japanese and other cars. There was doubt that performance-oriented engines would survive, and fear that those which did would not have much power. Yes, folks, the 70s killed what is generally considered the classic American muscle car. Because the whole thing was they were great big engines that made huge loads of power and consumed shit tons of gasoline. Because it didn't matter at the time. Well, nobody knew that it mattered, or figured out that it mattered, or figured that it was going to be any sort of long-term issue. So yeah, there were huge emissions regulations, because remember, in the 70s was when they started doing Earth Day, and people started noticing that smog was this terrible deal, and, you know, the pollution was just not something that you could just idly just sort of sit by and not think about. And oil embargoes. The OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, did embargoes, and all of a sudden we couldn't get gasoline all the time. But in that atmosphere, the SA22C RX-7 made its debut in March 1978 with the catchy slogan, "The Envious RX-7." The rotary engine's fuel economy could have been better, but emission levels were met by use of a thermal reactor. What? What? Yeah, that's one thing that Mazda pretty much the only modern company to do any real research into the rotary engine as opposed to the piston engine, which is what the vast majority of other cars are. Well, basically, rotary is the other option. And so it's possible that there are other efficiencies that could have been gained through more engineering, research, and development. The same way that decades and decades and decades of development have been put into piston engines. If people had been sort of looking at rotary engines with that sort of same eye towards increasing their efficiency and those sorts of things, maybe it would have been better for them. In Mazda's case, they were just trying to get over the initial problems of there was another car manufacturer in the 60s, NSU. Actually, they were one of Audi's logo is 4 rings. It was originally four different companies: Audi, Porsche, DKW, and was it NSU as well? Either way, yeah. NSU made a rotary engine car, and it was a fantastic car apparently for about 30,000 miles. Had a rotary engine in it, and the tips would wear off, which is basically like if maybe the end of a piston sort of just burned away. They replaced them under people's warranties until they completely went out of business. Anyways, power was no problem with 128 horsepower in Japanese spec at the time of its introduction, 100 horsepower, 105 pound-feet of torque, meeting more stringent U.S. emission standards. Yeah, they had strict emission standards. The turbo model was introduced later. Sleek styling added to its popularity. There's no doubt that it was a real sports car judging by its looks, and with the lightweight rotary engine mounted behind the front axle for a nifty weight distribution. Yeah, it had good weight distribution. It was a ray of bright light and an air of automotive darkness. Dark metamorphosis. The live rear axle only caused problems when cornering hard on poor road surfaces, and the suspension was refined throughout the model's long lifespan. The first generation RX-7 still has quite a following today because of its low price and entertaining performance potential. It's true. There's actually a it's not a spec series in the sense that you buy the cars all from one place and all the rest of that stuff, but there is it's called spec. There's a spec RX-7 racing category that is somewhat popular in the United States. Basically just a similar level of prep that you can put your first generation RX-7 to and race them against each other. So there are enough people out there with RX-7s that still race them around that they can do that. Now let's try and take my 400R now that I've bought that and gone all rhapsodious over that car. Oh, it's an R34 challenge, so this car won't be able to compete either. Your car can't compete in this race. Can't even participate, man. What are you trying to pull here? So now I gotta go back here and hop into ye old... Wait, oh, I didn't buy it. I need to buy that car before I can hop into it and race. Ha! Yeah! That'd be good. Now it's been sold. No. Alright, let's hop in this car. Let's buy it. 162 horsepower. I tell you what, let me look at the 80 Sports Car Challenge and see what the lowest level of horsepower for entry is before I start tuning that car up. And we'll try and roughly set it to that level of tune. $197. So there you go, we're already there. If I have trouble in this race, I can come back after having lightened up the car, put on sticky tires. Which I'm going to get around to doing, but while I'm in this menu... Besides, Trial Mountain is my jam. I like Trial Mountain. Some tracks you just have a better rhythm for than others. They're... you know... I don't say this like I'm some grizzled, seasoned veteran of actual racing or anything, but I mean... I'll read places where where professional racing drivers will say that. They're like, you know... Like, I understand that I'm a great racing driver that had a long career, and I've raced a bunch of different courses before, but this one particular track, it seemed like any time I went there, I would get something wrong, and I'd not be doing as well as I could. Hey, it's another one of those marches. actually going relatively well. Considering I can't be any better can't be any worse than, if there is an RX-7 in this race, my car's not going to be any slower than it, or going to be any faster than it, I should say, because I've done nothing to this car. So basically, that car is either better than mine, or it's a complete, exact same clone of my car. I think I navigated my way through that switchback a little bit better than they did. Man, it's one of those 11 drift cars that just came barreling past. Okay, I'm doing too much sliding through these corners. That was the best way around that. Oh boy, gonna get past the third here. Oh no, not quite. Don't know if I'll have the ability to catch up to this guy, though. I have the ability to get darn close. Oh, that ain't gonna do it. No! Trying to engage cheating. Not even that did it. It might cost me the places I have. Oh, it is a 3-lap race. I keep doing that. I can still make up on these guys in this last lap. Time for some 1-lap heroics. Yeah. I got this. Last lap heroics / professional wrestling. Jeez. That was the entire pack of them. That was not a good way to get through that turn, obviously. I just can't do it. I could probably do it if I raced it some more and figured out more good stuff to do with it, but can I make up some spaces? No. Because I'm just gonna whack into the back of you guys. Man! Oh, man! Okay. Well, there you go. The field was bookended by us RX-7s. Super Turbo, 11, Starlet, another another RX-7. And the MR2. First generation MR2s are funky little cheese wedges as well. There's a championship where I could use one of those. I think there's an MRS trophy, which I think you can only use the last generation of sort of mid-engine Toyota two-seater, as opposed to the MR2s. The MRS being the MR Spider. It's a little spider. It sat down beside her. Frightened her away. So yes, I guess what I'm gonna do, and yeah, if I was just a little bit better and I learned how to drive the car better, I could go and do that on my own without doing any bits of adding stuff to it, because it's probably, let's see, 172 horsepower. That still keeps it underneath the, what was it, 193 or something like that? So I got a racing muffler now. That's nice. And I got super soft tires. That'll be really nice. Then we're going to do the slow, painful process of doing weight reduction. Just like real life, am I right, folks? Weight reduction. Whew. Pain in the butt. The ample, oversized, flabby butt. Then I can do lots of tuning to this car, potentially, and enter whatever that other race that I don't have a grand prize for is. Oh, I didn't even check to see what the horsepower limit is. But hopefully with these modifications it'll be a huge difference, and we'll see that I run away with this event now. There's another RX, or not RX. Oh, there's probably another RX in this race. That was an MR2 that's directly in front of us, though. Oh, there isn't another RX in this event. This car is it's a twitchy little guy. It's interesting because it'll go into a drifting slide without any qualms. But if you don't want it to go into a drifting slide, it'll just sort of twitch. It'll just sort of drink around. That's not the fastest way through. That's the one turn in Trial Mountain that I've never really been able to figure out that well. You know, I would say, and this is the point in time where someone will come on and say, that's not the only turn you don't know how to do well on this course. But in terms of, like, heckling, I've not actually had very much in this series. Whereas heckling in comments, I just don't even really understand that point, because you gotta make an effort. And it would be so much simpler to just not watch a video. It's not like if you... Like, I still don't think it's a great idea to go heckle at a comedy show. But at least there, you're thinking, like, well, I paid money for this, and I sat down, and I'm been required to get 2 drinks, and all the rest of this stuff. I'm going to vent my frustrations at this night not turning out the way that I wanted it to on this comedian. Don't heckle your comedians, folks. They're just up there putting on a show. But yeah, like, okay, so if you're already, like, invested in the situation and the show and the entertainment in that way, and you're frustrated that it's not turning out the way that you wanted it to, I mean, it sort of makes sense. It's still a dick move, but, you know, leaving, like, you know, trash them out comments, which, like I said, I don't get very much of, and I'm appreciative of that. I'm actually very, one of the things that makes this series, it's the only one that I'm doing right at the moment, on my own. I'll get into some other solo projects soon, I'm sure. I mean, heck, by the time this video comes out, I might have started another solo project. But one of the things that's making this one particularly rewarding, on top of it being one of my favorite games to play, is that there's been a pretty good amount of generally very positive and interesting feedback. People that will be like, oh yes, I liked this car in the game for this reason, or this game always makes me think about, you know, this car, that car, or I've always wondered about these kinds of cars. And somebody asking me, and I mean, some of it is I have a couple of, you know, I mean, some subscribers are from places other than America. Shock and awe. But, you know, they'll have questions about things like, I don't really understand what the story is with muscle cars. And, you know, like, you never had them, because not a lot of muscle cars were exported. They made a lot of them, and they were still able to sell them all in the U.S. And they don't make a lot of sense for a lot of other places, because they actually aren't that great in terms of being a sports car that handles really well, unless you do a lot of work to them. They go really quickly in a straight line. At least they did. Before the 70s. That whole thing that we were talking about before. But, you know, I'll have people asking questions about cars and stuff, and I love talking about cars. So, it's been a great series in that aspect. So, yeah, I mean, while I'm thinking about it, let me just thank you guys for the quality of comments and quantity. Because I realize it's a series that doesn't change very much from video to video. I pretty much go out, I tune a car, I buy a car, I win a car, I race the cars. And that's pretty much where it goes. New car, don't save. Watch this turn out to be another RX-7 that I could have just won instead of buying. I guess I wouldn't be that upset unless it turns out to be another good color and I can't transfer the tuned parts over to it. Well, 394 is the other horsepower threshold. I'm not sure we'll ever even get this car to 394 horsepower. But if we can, Mugan Ferio. It's a Ferio! Oh, it's a four-door Civic. I'm not even sure I want to see this. The most distinctive are... I don't know if you could hear me smacking my forehead, but I sure did. Stylish enough to transform the Ferio from subdued sedan when compared to three-door Civics into a sports sedan. Two different aero parts kits are available. One adds a sporty flavor, while preserving the standard Ferio's best points as much as possible. The other features aero parts similar to the three-door Civics, and creates a very aggressive styling. None of them do anything! Also features a truly rich variety of functional parts. Okay, lowered suspension and sports exhaust. has considerable scarcity value. Yes, the value of $5,750. I mean, I'll say it's really nice that there is a, like that if they really had out there like a fancy, specially tuned version of 380 horsepower right there. Now, can I get an intercooler? And if I do, it's going to put me over the edge. Well, let's go head over and try this race using this particular arrangement, and if it doesn't work, I will see how many more horsepower I have to play with, although at that point it probably won't be that much of a difference, because we're already pretty close to the limit. Yeah, 380, we could get another 14 horsepower. In terms of what we could do here, that probably wouldn't make that much of a difference. But I'm going to go ahead and do the Seattle Circuit full course here. And I just realized I got into this video. It's been a while. I probably should have stopped it at some point. But, you get into the video. You just get into it, man. Alright, you guys. It is the 80s. There is no time to play clacks. Wow, it's still spinning. Jeez, talk about your near perfect weight distribution, mid-mounted engine doodad stuff. That did not go well at all. Can I recoup from this? Wow, this car just wants to go into a... This car just wants to drift into a spin anytime you turn the wheel. Anytime you turn the wheel, and you still have a lot of momentum going in a different direction. Well, I've made up a position. Alright, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah. Oh, back up to second. Let's just not overcook it. There we go. That's good, that's good. Oh, jeez, and then I ran into a wall. Which allowed the Super March to get in the way. Get back here, you super turbo. I need to find the kryptonite of the super turbo. Yeah, now at low speeds, or relatively low speeds, like second gear speeds, it does mean the car will pretty much just turn nicely where you want it to go, but higher up it's sort of like... just going to continue to push you along until I'm done with you. Then I will discard you like garbage. Oh no, now you're discarding me. Turnabout, that's not fair play. Get back here, you. I'll harm you. This time I remembered it was 3 laps, folks. That's why I wasn't panicking or very sad. Also, I guess it has so much power now, it can't. It's just, oh man. I think with a wheel it would be a lot nicer. I think with a wheel it would be a really good car in this game. But when you're using non-analog control the way that I am here, and yes, I could use the analog sticks and try and get a little bit finer control of this car. But it would go against the way that I remember how to play this game. Also, with the tiny analog sticks, you don't really get the whole range of... I can make a gentle correction here like you would with a slight turn of a wheel as opposed to... Jeez, it's going into this... Oh man, wallowing... Spin fury. Get back, Honky Cat. That's right, I shaved you off. Shaved you off into oblivion. And won. Victory! Yeah. I did it, folks. We did it. It got done. Prize money gets us back over $1 million, and we're going to save the game. Because I got a text message in addition to it already being kind of a long video. So when we come back another time, folks, we will have won. We'll go find out what our new prize car is. Suspense! It's a cliffhanger! Also, I'll probably finish doing the RX-7 tuning, and then go race it against other RX-7s. That'll be fun. This is Bobo the Vulture. This is Let's Play Gran Turismo 2. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye now.